live stream tonight because I told you I'll be back this Sunday, like I was here last Sunday. So, if you're joining the live stream on the replay, you can probably skip through the first little bit because I'm probably going to be saying hi to people and just shooting the bull with the people who hang out here with us. So, our subject tonight is going to be the fact that it's August, and most of the time, come July and August, our lawns are burnt up, and it's hard to make money, okay? You'll be going to your route, and you'll be scratching your head. Should I mow this yard? Should I not mow this yard? Wait, I need to get paid. I need money this week. So we're going to discuss that together as a community tonight on the live stream, and try to see if we can help each other out on always having work lined up and always having revenue, no matter if it's hot and burn up. So, that being said, here we go. Shane Pimpkin, welcome in, brother. He said he just got 10 inches of rain in 2 days. So, he's on the flip side of the issue, right? He's going to have to worry about bogging down in wet lowlands with his mowers. That's the way it goes, right? Tom Dobie's up in the house. Mr. Tom Dobie, much respect to you, sir. Always glad to have you here. We got Ground Pounder in the house as well, and he's on vacation. That's what we all need to be doing sometime soon, being on vacation. So, kudos to you, Ground Pounder, for using your head and thinking like a sane person and taking a nice vacation with the family. You got to recharge, right? Yeah. So, we're going to wait a couple more people to come up in here. And Mr. Scott Murphy, welcome. Most of us know who you are and that you are a warrior. You're out here doing your thing your own way, like all of us are. And he's talking about it's going to be 104 degrees in a couple days out here. So, I don't know. I know that a lot of guys came in the comments from my last video talking about their situation where they haven't had any rain days all year. And, you know, sometimes it happens. Claude Bloom, welcome, my brother. Another beautiful week awaits, that's right. Mondays for motivation. Hey, man, that's another reason I'm up here tonight, is to get everybody motivated to go out there and make money this week. Plenty of stuff to do, and all of us should be excited to hit Monday rolling hardcore, right? Williams Lawn and Property Cleaning, my man. Much respect for him. He's got some good videos out there doing some tree work and some other crazy things that he does in his life to help his family out, right? Yeah, Terrell's pretty tough, man. Man, we really do have a nice, strong community in here, and I just want to take a second to say thank you, guys. I really do appreciate all the support you've shown me and my boys and the channel here, because you don't always have to hang out and watch a guy mow grass. I mean, it's not that exciting, and it's not easy to make these YouTube videos exciting and educational, because I'm not here just to be a music video with grass, you know. I'm here to help balance some education so we can all learn and also be entertained, you know. That's the way it goes. So Eric Godfrey up in the house, welcome, sir. Another warrior. And yeah, appreciate that, man. So I'm talking about the support you guys show me helps me throughout my week. It's not always easy to pick up a camera and, you know, just take time to do it. And that's just something that I feel is necessary to help the next generation come up and be successful. They don't have to depend on the man to make their money. They don't have the man telling them, you know, you got to be here this certain time every single day. This list has to get done no matter the circumstances, and that's just my rules. It's a better lifestyle and better life in general if you can get away from the man and you can be the man, right? That's what it's all about. Hi, Brian Welsh, the man in Australia. Yeah, dude. That's one of the most amazing things, is that YouTube lets us all connect. I mean, guys, I've talked to guys I talked to a buddy in Mississippi this week. I talked to a buddy in Kentucky this week. I talked to a buddy in Atlanta, in Ohio. I mean, dude, everybody can be together. Even Brian Welsh, the Warrior, down in Australia. So, hey, kudos to all you guys out here. We got, who else we got in the house now? WVU, almost time for leaves. Can't believe it's August. Time is flown by. Yeah, it really has, man. It goes by real quick. The seasons start whipping by, and before you know it, you're in wintertime. And that's one thing we need to talk about is wintertime, right? How are you going to survive, especially in your first 6-7 years out here? How are you going to survive the wintertime? Adam, and correct me if I apologize if I say your last name wrong. Singh, I assume. Adam Singh. He's been hanging out on the channel this year and throwing in some good comments that give me good vibes, man. So much appreciated. Let's see. Who else is coming up in here? We got 18 guys hanging out. And if you could, go ahead and push the little like button. Just scroll out of the chat real quick. Hit that little like button. And maybe we can get YouTube to actually show this out a little bit. Because they don't always give many impressions for live streams. I know that much. That's a fact. So, let's get on to the topic. How long have I been on here, man? I've been on here for 6 minutes. So, let's get on the topic. All right. In the chat, go ahead and let me know who has had a hard time finding money to make when all your lawns are burned up. I mean, just stick it up in there, you know. How many people have a hard time making their money in August when there's no grass? All right, real quick, Martin Robert, what's going on, brother? Welcome, welcome. We got Luciano, the legend, up in the house. Welcome, Luciano. Always great to see you here, man. Claude Bloom, I love the channel I can relate to and learn from. 3K sub, that's right. Claude, thank you, man. I did hit 3K subs today. So, like I said, YouTube, they pick and choose what videos they want to throw out to the masses in bulk. And they chose my little silly video I did today about, are you an idiot? Get off my grass. All right. So, let's see. Squirrel more money in the summer and live in winter time. So, Ground Pounder is a tree guy. All right. He lives up north. And, you know, even tree businesses go through seasons. Certain seasons, people ain't throwing out 10 grand to get tree work done. One example, right after Christmas in January. People are not going to spend 10 grand on getting a tree cut in December, right? They will earlier in the year and they will later in the year. But at that time, no one's trying to spend that extra money. So if you're in the tree business, you have to prepare for those times to where maybe I'll go ahead and contact some HOAs, some apartment complexes in my area if I do tree work, and I would line up limbing up the entire area. The entire complex would be limbed up 25 feet, just something I can reach my pole saw to. Very quick and easy. You run around each tree, zing, 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 zing. You load it up on the dump truck and you roll on. All right. Now, I was 22 years old. I was in my first LLC partnership with my boss at that time. And he was kind enough to let me use his dump truck on the weekends. And he was getting a cut out of everything. Well, I went and spent $650 on a brand new steel extended pole saw. That's how much they were back then. They're probably like $1,200 now. But the point is, $650. I went and did a 2-weekend gig, 2 days each weekend, and made $10,000 just limbing up an apartment complex. So think about that in the wintertime. If you, as a tree guy, and actually if you're just a lawn guy, I mean, if you just mow grass, you like to stay on the ground, right? You're not up to going up in the air and making money. That's perfectly fine. These apartment complexes around you, they just need the limbs limbed up, away from the cars, away from people walking, and that's all they need, you know? That's all groundwork. All right, let's look at the chat, see what we got going on here, man. We got Martin Robert. He hangs out in Florida. All right. He says the summer is rainy, but heat kicking our butt. Yeah, Florida's a different beast down there, man. You guys, it's a rough gig to get out there in that high humidity, and you're guaranteed to have a rainstorm roll through, and it just makes it worse. So I definitely feel for you guys. I'm actually going to vacation in Florida here in a couple weeks, and last time I was down there, the lawn guys came through, man, and I felt bad for them. I was melting on the front porch in the shade with a fan, so I get it, definitely. We got Ground Pounder. My tree man says, "Oh, I'm absolutely seasonal, bro. March till Labor Day and then dead." Hey, guess where all their money went right before Labor Day? Can you guess? Their money went to school supplies for the family. They got to buy 4 kids new backpacks, new lunch boxes, new shoes, new clothes. They ain't got money to cut that limb that they've been looking at for 6 months. They ain't gonna do it. All right. We got Robert Matthews up in the house. Welcome, sir. And he says, "Love your channel, Randall. Still cutting weekly down in North Carolina." Nice. Yeah, North Carolina, you guys have been getting the same kind of rain patterns that we've gotten. A couple from the east. Well, most of them come from the west and up or down. But sometimes they come from the East Coast, and those rains just kind of set in on us, and they just like give us that perfect irrigation effect for a day or two, which has been really nice this year. Yep, Scott Murphy is talking about this is a rough summer season. It definitely is, man. It's been hot, but man, I've been out here for 30 years. These heat waves just come and go. The planet ain't the planet's not melting. We're not all gonna die, and it's not your fault because you drive a truck. So don't listen to certain people chirping in your ear all the time. It's just the way that the seasons come and go. They come and go. They go in cycles, all right? Just like your life goes in cycles. All right, so we got... All right, so Terrell down there, Terrell Williams Lawn, Atlantic Property. He says 1/3 does lawns, 1/3 trees, 1/3 clean outs and demolition. So he's got his stuff spread out to where he can make money throughout different seasons doing different services. And we're definitely going to talk about different services that you need to be offering in order to make this money come August. Everything's burned up in certain areas, and you need to be looking around your properties to see what needs to be done. And that includes the tree limbing up that we just talked about. Most of your properties have trees on them. All of those trees have grown, and most of them are stabbing you in the face when you're mowing. Why not talk to the customer, the client, the ones that half the people on YouTube say they can't stand to talk to their clients? Guys, you don't talk to your clients, you ain't picking up extra work. All right, that's a silly attitude to have. Always talk to your clients. Always upsell them on services that you're noticing. It's up to you to look around and say, hey, this bank over here that no one looks at is overgrown, and it's been like that for 2 years, man. Can we go ahead and take care of it for you next week? And that'll be an extra income that you didn't have to mow grass on. All right, back to the chat. So the People's Gardener, hey, my friend, the People's Gardener hooked me up with naming the Carissa Holly on one of those videos back, the trimming video that we did. And Dirty also called it out as a Carissa Holly. And guys, thank you very much. That is the purpose of our channel here, on my channel at least, so we all learn from each other. If I don't know the answer and I don't know the names, I'm going to tell you. I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight up honest with you. I was like, hey, I think this is called this, but it could be something different. Let me know. So, much love to you, People's Gardener, and he's in West Palm, South Florida. See, I'm jealous of you, man. You got the beach, the palm trees, bikinis. Just saying. Sorry. Thinking about my vacation, man. All right. Virginia heat's coming back. Going to be brutal. Yes, it is. Yep, every holiday's the same because in American society, they've learned to throw a holiday every single month of the year, so you'll waste all your money on being a consumer. If you didn't know it, you live in the era of consumerism. That's all you are. You're just a consumer. That's the way all the big corporations look at you. That's the way the media looks at you. That's the way everyone that's selling you something looks at you. It's just a season of consumption. This era will end eventually, probably sooner than later. But hey, we'll survive, man. We're warriors, right? All right. Robert Matthews is going to be fighting out at 104 degrees tomorrow. Stay hydrated, my friend. Make sure you got some a cooler full of ice and water, towels. Tell you what, I draped over a nice ice cold towel over my back yesterday. It was like 98 degrees here, and I was working by myself. So I soaked that outer shirt and just laid it over top of my shoulders, tucked in the sleeves right here. Instant cool down, 10 degrees. All right, 10 degrees difference. Let's see. Yeah, the People's Gardener. He says, I'm jealous of your cool weather. Yeah, dude. It doesn't matter where you're at. When you're looking over there, the grass is always greener, right? That's everybody on the planet that looks at different professions, looks at different areas. They're like, oh, I want to go over there. It's much greener over there, right? Yeah, not necessarily. Hey, Wayne Rowland in the house. Good to see you, sir. And Wayne's been around, I think, ever since the first year I started, pretty much. Yeah, he's been giving me support the whole time. So, appreciate that, man. Hey, Ground Pounder, you enjoy your vacation, my brother. And I'm jealous of what you're going to see tomorrow. Mount Rushmore? Dude, Mount Rushmore's got to be one of the most amazing things to even go look at anywhere on the planet. And yeah, because I'm a conspiracy theorist by nature, I got some questions about that stuff, man. Just saying. Be good, Ground Pounder. Be safe driving, man. All right. So, I've caught up on comments. All right, I think so. All right, we got Williams Lawn Care left another comment. Terrell, after I get a proper 3/4 ton truck, stump grinder, wood chipper, I'll drop my 2/3 of my lawns and focus on trees and real estate. Yep. Yeah, man. Tree guys, once you get the big equipment, you can offer some different services because you have a big dump truck. You can do a bunch of haul outs and cleaning ups, and we all know in today's world, foreclosures happen all the time. So, and now majority of the rental places available to the normal people, they're all owned by huge corporations now. So they can go ahead and use your services to clean out all the people they evict after raising their rent $300 just on the drop of a dime. So, wow. I try not to get political because I don't pay attention. I do pay attention. I ain't part of the game, though. I just watch the highlights. So, Terrell, speaking up, brothers, we are not crazy. The government's pushing this green agenda. I heard Cali is tightening up on all small engines. Yeah. California just passed a law saying no more grass cutting for you gas-powered peasants. All right? So, the overlords are telling you now, you're not allowed to use gas to mow grass. What sense does that make? What freaking sense does that make? So now you're going to have all these batteries that, mind you, they don't know how to recycle these batteries, these lithium batteries. They don't know how to recycle these things. So when they die, they go to a warehouse up in Canada, and they just sit there. Ticking time bomb for a huge disaster of batteries to go up in a warehouse. How am I going to go out and mow 10 hours in hot sun with a battery-powered mower? It can't be very heavy. because that'll drain the power out of it, right? It. Hey, look, man. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. We got to figure out how to maneuver around everything and just keep on plugging away. I get it. If I was in California, which I would never, ever, ever step foot in California, if I were, I'd be moving out. All right, dude, you can't tell me how to do my world. This is my world I live in, and you can't tell me what to do. If I need to use gas power to get my mission accomplished for all my clients that want this mission accomplished, that's what I'm going to do. Now, obviously, I'm not a follower, so I would have a hard time living in California, or any big city for that matter. So, back to chat. Jeez, man, y'all got me on a tangent I wasn't trying to be on. All right, so CR's lawn care. I've always been working for the man. This year started off with a rocky start, and still finally passed through the dry spell. It's been a month and a half trying to pick up client. I'm just going to go forward. All right, so anytime that you're going to step out away from your full-time job, it's going to take so much dedication from you. You probably underestimated how much dedication and effort that you're going to have to put in personally, to be honest with you. If I were to do that, which I did that 11 years ago, all right, 11 years ago, I didn't get paid. My paychecks bounced after Christmas. I didn't get my Christmas bonus. I didn't get nothing. And I just took the leap of faith. Now, I had tax returns at that time because I had 3 children. I would get like 10 grand back for taxes. So I used that initial 10 grand, got my business started that winter in January. And then I borrowed $5,000 from my dad, paid him back that 5, borrowed another 5, paid him back that 5. But I always owe him money, and I still owe him money. That's just the way dads help you out when they're in your life, all right? So back to the story. I did just jump, and I did it. But it required me to wake up every single day that I did not have work and pass flyers out. If I wasn't passing flyers out, I was working on a website. If I wasn't working on a website, I was making calls to people I knew that owned properties that may be interested in me. The point is, you have to really, really want it. And you're going to have to go 100 miles an hour until you drop every single night. You're going to have to wake up and go 100 miles an hour first thing in the morning. And I'm pretty sure I passed out probably every bit of 20,000 flyers my first year. And I targeted the neighborhoods that were well-to-do, upscale neighborhoods. I looked for, here's how we can get into the conversation that we were having on the live stream, the whole topic, now that we're 24 minutes in. Hold on a minute. All right, so look, you're looking for clients, right? Low-income clients, you're not going to make money off low-income clients. Those are not going to help your business go up the way it needs to go. That's the honest truth of it. So, if you have to drive 30 minutes to get out of the demographics that you're in to find these little rich cul-de-sacs and wealthy neighborhoods, do it. Bottom line, do it. Look, I drive 40 minutes across town to log home, and I work my way back through all those rich little neighborhoods. That's one route. Then I go out to another farm property the other direction, and I work my way back in, hitting all those nice big yards. So when you're picking up yards and you're looking for places to do your flyers distribution, demographics are number one. You're going to have to go on Google Maps, find the school near you, in the county area, the school that has the best reviews, the #1 ranked school near you. Those neighborhoods around it are going to be middle class to just working, okay? They can afford just normal services like mowing grass, trimming the shrubs once a year. You can make money off that, but if you go further out from those little neighborhoods near the school, you'll find these little cul-de-sacs that have, a number of homes on them that are really, really nice. They're really, really expensive, and all the landscaping is there, and all the mulch is there, and you have nonstop ways to make money. And for me, when I look at picking up new clients, even back when I started, that's how I ended up with the places I have, is because I went for the larger upscale properties that had as many bushes and as much mulch that I could possibly see. I wanted those difficult properties. I didn't want to be jumping in and out of my truck 25 times a day hitting $40 yards. That's not what I want. Because if that's all these people can afford me for, is to mow their yard for $40, they're not going to be able to afford me to trim their bushes, to do their mulch, to do tree trimming, to install a back patio, to put in a fish pond and a waterfall for you, to trim vines off your walls. Those clients aren't giving you that revenue, no matter what. You have to look for these huge properties, in my opinion. You don't have to, so let me rephrase that real quick. In my opinion, and what worked for me, I went for properties that I could see year-round services on and repeat year-round services. If I have 1,500 bushes on one property, which I do on plenty of these, I know that 3/4 of those get trimmed at a certain time of year, and I'll make money that time of year trimming those. I know that the other percentage gets trimmed at a different time of year, and I'll trim it then for a nice little chunk of change. I know that when the leaves fall, we have to keep all the beds clean. We have to keep these bushes clean. I know I'll make extra money doing leaves. I know that these yards that I pick up, 90% of them, I make sure they're irrigated. Then they don't burn up, all right? These are things that you have to consider when you're pimping out your name to different neighborhoods and trying to get your name all over the place. You don't want your name all over the place. In my opinion, if your name is all over the place, then you're going to get a lot of BS phone calls, and you're going to waste a lot of time running estimates for people that can't afford your services. And it's not because you're overcharging. It's because this is a luxury service. Anything we do out here is a luxury service, right? Yeah. So you have to find those areas. Once you find those areas, you can make a lot of money with not many clients and not many properties. Lots of people on here boast about having 120 yards. I don't want 120 yards. I'm after money. I'm not here for volume of numbers to throw at people's face and say, my company's bigger than yours. No. You can have 6 crews going, and you will not make the same profit that I make with just 2 helpers and 1 crew. Many times that's the case, because once you get into this world and you study the fact that these big companies, in order for the boss to make more money in his pocket personally, he has to keep going and going and going until he has 20 trucks in the field, and he offers every service available. Like, that's every big company I've ever worked for. That's why. Because in order for you to make more money, all right, once you're maxed out and your route is full, like you can't do any more work, period. Once it gets to that point, I mean, what are you going to do? If you hire another crew, another truck, another set of bills, another set of overhead, you have to have a whole another route to cover these people. That route covers these people, not you. You don't get any extra money. The next route, same, excuse my language, same story, all right? You're basically working your butt off to provide for 10 families. 10 families depend on you compared to just you depending on you. So in order for that person to make more money, they have to up the game to 30 families. Because once he hits 20 families, he's finally evened out. All right? He has the income coming to pay for all the overhead, all the employees, all the insurance, everything that's to pay for is finally hit. The other 10 people that he hires next, that's his profit. All right? That's why the big guys keep getting bigger. And they look for smaller companies to buy. And that's just not the way I roll. I don't want to be huge. I don't want to be big. I don't want anything about that. Very, very stressful. So, going back to the burnt up lawns, I'm going to pause for a second, or we're going to read the chat. All right. So, back to, and CR says he's passing out advertising information. Good. Just up it more. Push yourself more. Just push it and find the right place. Martin Robert, networking is key. Friends, clubs, associations as well. Yes, sir, it is. Networking is a big part of how you grow because you can pick and choose who you network with, right? We can pick and choose whoever we decide to mingle with in life. That's the best thing about being in charge. So I got started through my travel soccer club. I happened to be coaching for them. I happened to start mowing grass for them, and they were the first place that I posted my website and my information to, and picked up a handful of clients. And a handful of those people I still do work for, and their children that I coached when they were 11 and 12 have graduated college, or they're in college. So yeah, those people will be faithful to you if you can ever find that kind of stuff. Terrell, I worked a full-time job, 50 hours a week, then worked another 4 hours for myself on the side for 3 years, and then full-time because God blessed me with a network. Yes, sir. That's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Martin Roberts says we got to learn property values also tells you their money situation. Yeah, it does. And like we already know, I already put a video out earlier this year about the middle class where they're suffering and they don't have the extra money to do luxury services like we offer. And that's an issue, all right? Thankfully for me, most of my clients are above middle class. They own their own businesses. So they're above middle class and they've done well for themselves through hard work. Terrell says I have about 30 quality lawns and so I don't spread myself thin, quality over quantity. Yep, that's the way I roll, man. I have 31 accounts. That's it, 31 accounts. CR says when you get the other outgoing because you're maxed out, you're only making 30% extra, most definitely. You know. Murphy, I have about 8 yards. I make $160 a week. That's all he needs right now, right? Look, Scott Murphy, he's hardcore, dude. If he needed more money, he'd go make more money. That's all up to him and his situation. We all live in different situations, all right? I mean, my oldest son, he's 25. He still lives with me. I don't make him pay rent. He doesn't have to buy groceries. A lot of pluses and benefits that come with living with someone that still helps you through life. So he only worked 2.5 days this week, and he got $210. So that's okay for him. It'll pass for him in his situation. That doesn't pass for me, and it may not pass for you. Everybody's in their different corner in life. And the main purpose of you living life, all right, real quick, many men have a hard time finding purpose to their lives. It's one of the hardest things that a man can do is finding purpose to your life. Let me just tell you this. Your first purpose in life is to enjoy it. enjoy every single day being you in your world. That's it. If you're having a hard time finding a purpose in life, your purpose is to make yourself happy every day. If you're not purposefully making yourself happy with your decisions and your actions, you're never going to make someone else happy. You're never going to benefit anyone else in the world. You're never going to be beneficial. You have to learn how to make yourself happy every single day. That's the only purpose you got. You only get one life in this body with this thought process. I don't know what happens afterwards, but this is the life we're in right now. So you better make yourself happy. Purpose number one. So the People's Gardener says, my schedule is completely full right now. The clients need to raise prices or change to a more wealthy area, like you said. Yeah, and it's hard to raise prices. I mean, honestly, it's one of the hardest things you can do is raise prices and keep 100% of your clients. I fortunately have not ever had to go up on property prices unless the services changed a little bit, like an area changed or it takes a little bit more time. Once I give a price, that's my price. Because I priced myself high back in 2014, I didn't have to even adjust my rates since 2020, 2021, 22, all this chaos going on. I'm not suffering, all right? My workload keeps getting more and more. I have both my sons helping me, which means I have to give them a paycheck. Normally they make $600 a week. So I've been working Monday and Tuesdays doing extra side jobs, bush trimming, plantings, whatever, you name it, to afford them for the week. So, when you're starting off small, lots of people ask, when do I know when I can afford an employee? Well, for you to afford an employee, you have to keep all that money you're making right now, which is your whole grass route. So you don't want to lose any of your grass money. That's yours. That's what you depend on. You have to condense that into a shorter week because you have a helper, you can. And then you have a day or two on the week to do extra jobs, which can easily bring in the $600 that you need to pay your helper for all your grass cutting. All right, that makes sense. When I think, hey, I got to have Dalton for the whole week to help me with grass because that's what I need, I just do a job for $600 that pays for him. If the job is $1,200, it pays for both my helpers for the whole week. So I have left myself 2 days a week this year, and it's been amazing. I love it. Let's see. CR says, I've got a commercial 30. Maybe it's just my mindset, but I've been watching for a while. It's not really the little lawn mower that hold you back. Am I right? All right. So are we talking about the difference between the commercial 30-inch compared to just a Honda 22-inch, or are we talking about a standard or a walk-behind mower compared to push mowers? Let me know in the chat. So Williams Lawn Care says gas was $1.88 a gallon, back when he was doing his gig, and now it's $3.58 a gallon in Kansas City. Started off with low prices, he says, 30 lawns. Now I charge 40 weekly, 50 bi-weekly, mow, edge, trim, blood. So, yeah, I mean, if you have to raise prices, you're also going to have to lower them. If I contact my customers and say, hey, I'm raising your prices because of XXX, because inflation, because gas went up, because this went up. What happens in 4 or 5 years when we have a different administration and all the stuff goes back down in price? Are you going to call those clients and be like, hey, I'm lowering your price this year because inflation went down. I'm lowering your price this year because the gas prices went down. I don't think that's I personally don't think that's right. I just don't do it. I don't need to. But if I had 20 employees and I had 30 HOAs and I had all this other stuff going on, hey man, when you have an operation, every flipping minute that these people are on your clock and you're paying them, every minute counts. And the only way you're going to make money if you have a large business is to be the most anal person on the planet about time. Time management's everything. You got to have a extremely hardcore. Hey, Scott Murphy, be good, man. He's checking out. Have a good week, man. Be safe. Thanks for hanging out. Look, you got to have an extremely hardcore foreman that runs your crews like the military gets run. So that's the only thing I can say about that. Every single minute counts when you have a big company. On the other hand, with me, I can take a 10-minute break at every yard and not lose money. I don't care. I'm fine. I can chill out anytime I want to chill out. All right. Okay, so let's go back to chat real quick because I asked CR or something. He said, no comparison. I've got an X-Mark 30. I was speaking about comparable inside. Did you have with a smaller lawnmower and the capabilities in your mind? I think I'm lost, man. I mean, all right, CR, the size of your mower has everything to do with the size of your accounts. Bottom line, size of your accounts, the maneuverability in your accounts dictates what's best for you in your business. There's always going to be a residential starter model of the mower size you need, and there's always going to be a commercial model of the mower size you need. There's so many different options that you can do. Hey, Grassy Ass, thanks for joining, man. No worries, just got the notice. Hey, YouTube doesn't love everybody. They would love a few people. But anyways, glad you're here, Grassy Ass. Always welcome. So CR, if that's what we're touching base on, is that I use the big mowers, and I use my big mowers on every property. Like even my smaller properties, I use my big mowers on them, and it's not hard because I can maneuver the stuff. And so what if you got some extra weed eating done? Most of my yards are on slopes, and almost every yard has mountainsides that you got to do some extra weed eating on, no matter what mower you got. So it's always up to your demographics. What size yard do you have? How many yards have gates? How wide are those gates? How wet do your yards get? So many factors. So many. All right, back to chat. The People's Gardener asks, what do you charge per acre? It's kind of hard. I don't price them by acres. But if I think about it, it's at least 70 per acre, at least. And it's probably more than that. And that's kind of that's not how I bid my jobs. So, and I was watching real quick, I was watching a channel today that was discussing small yards and such, and totally lost my thought on that. Gone. All right. He's at 80 for 1.25 acres. All right. So, how's it going, Jake? Good to have you here, man. So the People's Gardener was talking. He's at $80 for 1.25 acres, which is fine. I'm pretty sure that between my Turf Tiger, the speed of it, the way that I bid these jobs, I bid it like, if this is going to take me 3 hours, I'm going to charge you $70 per hour, at the least, maybe 80. So that's how I kind of look at my stuff, how I bid it. I look at time, and that's not always the case. I know what I was going to say. Bingo! So, the gentleman was talking about he bids all his yards on square footage. Okay? All he needs to know is your square footage of your yard, and he has a price for you, just like that. That's his business model. And more than likely, and I'm pretty sure, they do all small yards. Like little cookie cutter, $40, $50 cuts. All right? All you need is push mowers. I think that's all they have is pickup trucks and push mowers. And he's making a good living doing it that way. But he has a set price per square footage, where I have yards that I just picked up one, for example. It's a every 2-week cut. I'm getting $100 every time I mow it, and it literally takes us 20 minutes, and it's literally less than 5,000 square feet of grass. So yeah, there's plenty of fluctuating factors that play into how you bid properties. It's so hard, man, because so many people think that it's just a formula that you do. You can sit there, no one will see you. And it's not just a set formula, especially not for your solo guys, your smaller companies like we are. You can't just have a set formula, because you're going to be losing money if you have a set formula. You have to look and see, well, does this yard have an extra 20 minutes of weed eating because it's such a slope on the back of it? Does this yard have, like Grassy Ass just says, all his yards have double gates? Well, does this yard I'm working on have a single gate and I have to pull the push mower off the truck, get the push mower to the backyard, do that, bring it back, load it back up? All that's extra time, okay? If I have a push mower involved, the price is going up automatically, which everybody should have that. All right, back to the chat real quick. Yep, we got Jake, who's hanging out on the West Coast, trying to survive on the West Coast. And, yeah, more power to you, man. We already talked about the West Coast earlier in the broadcast here. But, yeah, you got to keep on grinding it out, and you'll find a different path, okay? There's plenty of different paths to go on in life, and everybody throw Jake some good vibes tonight. There, I'll wear my sweatshirt for you, man. So we got back to the chat. The People's Gardener says, sold my 20-year-old Dixie chopper, picked up a 23 Turf Tiger 2, and it's a world of difference. Boom. I'm telling you, changing machines is such a beneficial thing. Like I was telling my son earlier today, if I had to go mow my contracts with a residential style mower that only went up 4 inches at the most, and it was weak, and it would dent anytime I bumped into something, and all it did was throw grass clumps everywhere, I would not enjoy mowing grass. It would be a chore. I would not enjoy it. But the more you upgrade your equipment, the more enjoyable and easy and efficient and fast you can do it. And then you can double your route size. So I've had it in other videos. If you're on the fence on upgrading, you only need one account that pays $80 a week, weekly service, and that's $320. You can easily upgrade to a nice big size mower for a $320 payment every month. Maybe $360. It's not that much, man. Back to the chat real quick. We got Grassy Ass up in here, says the more weeding I do, the more my price goes up. That's exactly right. I have a small property that would probably be 60, but I got to do a lot of weed eating on the back hillside, so that one's 90. It's worth it. All right. So we got CR. I got a flowing formula based on weed, eating, edging, and size, and perceptual time it takes for all. Yeah. Yeah, once you get out here and do it stuff, you kind of know how long stuff takes you. You get it all figured out. And yeah, sometimes we get stuff wrong in the very beginning of our adventures, but once you learn it, you pretty much know how to think about it, right? And Jake, the homeless in America, West Coast, I need to find a landscaping job. Tell you what, man, it never slows down. It doesn't ever slow down. There's always work to get done, man. And the Warriors are throwing Jake the good vibes in the chat. Thank you, guys. He asked me a question, how many employees do I got? I got just my 2 boys working for me. I tried the employee gig way back in 2014, 15, 16. Such a pain, man. It's like a revolving door of people who don't want to work. So my 2 boys work with me full time. And if they're not working with me full time, I pull my soulmate, my wife, out, and she helps me mulch and clean up trimmings and whatever else I need her to. So it's always been a family operation here. From the time I realized that I didn't want the headache of employees. Simple as that. Yep, Mr. Drake Westerman, welcome, bud. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. Another warrior up in the house. Okay. So so Jake's seen other videos, and I've had plenty of guys come out here and help me, all right? When I have large projects, I'll pull in some of my son's buddies, some of the soccer guys that I've coached in the past, and I'll have them help us. Like, when you have a tractor trailer to mulch, and 50 plants to put in, and a whole bunch of other stuff going on, yeah, I bring in all my past soccer players that I used to coach, that are now in their 20s, that's who I call. And they're more than willing to come out and help. And they're always in shape. They're never going to get tired because they're athletes. And tell you what, if you do get to the point where you're looking for employees, 2 of the best places that I could probably recommend is go to your local recruiting station, the military, find out who is getting out of the service anytime soon, leave your information with them and say, hey, you got any of these hardcore guys coming out of the service, then go ahead and make that happen. All right, send him my way. He'll be large and in charge, and he'll be hardcore to work for me. Another place is, unfortunately, a lot of kids these days are hardcore athletes, and they don't make it. They don't make it to the college they wanted to go to. They don't make it past college, but they're still really fit, really strong young men. And they usually know how to give it 110%. So that's the way that I can find, once my boys move on and do their own life, if that happens, that would be my route. And honestly, the best workers I've ever had, besides my sons and my wife, were all south of the border. They all came from south of the border countries. The most, hands down, hardest working culture that there is. 100%. So, right, Drake, I just use helpers, man. And that's what most of the world does out here. They use helpers. And at least I'm not slaving away 7-year-olds in my meat markets and my gardens, okay? I'm not trafficking humans. They're my sons. I'll do my sons the way I want to, bottom line. Yeah. Jake says he's lucky. I wish I had dad to work for. Man, so look, I've been watching Jake on and off here for the last, 6 months, I guess I found him. And without family and friends, it's hard. Life is flipping hard, man. And if you make a wrong decision and stuff doesn't go the way you wanted it to, you're going to end up in the bottom of a hole. You're going to be in the pits. It happens just like that, okay? When you don't have other people that love you and support you, this life is damn hard. So all of you that have people in your lives that help you, that support you, that give you encouragement, that you can go to in a time of need, hey, tomorrow when you wake up, send them a text message. Tell them how much that you mean, that they mean to you. Let them know how much that they mean to you in your life. Simple as that. The stuff that people take for granted now, especially in America, is pathetic. All right. People think you got it hard in America. You got it really hard in different places of the world. And man, the only way you're going to change life, number one, is up here. You have to change your own perception about life and the way you view life and the way you interact with yourself and your own thoughts. If your own thoughts are beating you up and demeaning you because your own thoughts are doing it, you're done. You'll never climb out of the hole you're in. I don't care what happens. You got to control your mind first. Once you take control of your mind, you'll have a lot easier success because you'll see stuff different. You'll understand things different. But hey, man, no one said this life was easy. My boys right now are in this delusional state, kind of, that they can go get a $50,000 job easy with no education. And that's not the case. All right, you're not going to easily find a company to pay you 50 grand with no education and no skills. But society has taught these younger generations that money's so easy to make that everybody's entitled to it. When the reality is, it's one of the hardest things in the world. Hardest things in the world to make your own money and be your own person. And I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed that I made the decisions I made in my life, and I gave up certain things that I thought I wanted to do in life to go different paths. Everybody's path is going to be different, and unfortunately, most people think that you're stuck on the path. You're not stuck on a path, all right? You're on a path, so that's what your brain is focused on. That's what your mind is focused on. But when you stop on your path and you look around, you'll realize there's 1,000 different paths to go on. It's up to you to have the courage and not be scared to go down the other paths. Now, I'll say this in closing because it's been an hour, it's getting late. I have a buddy, a friend, and he's to the point where he's retiring. And once you've been on a path for 30 years and you're going to retire, it's hard to understand there's more paths out there for you. All right, it really is. One of the hardest things to understand as a man. If I grow up in a certain system, working in a certain place for 30 years, that's what I know. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm comfortable with. But when I retire, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I got to find something on the same path, right? You don't. You don't have to find the stuff on the same path. You can get on any path you want. And for me, if I wasn't 100% happy mowing grass and doing landscaping, I would change paths. I would totally change what I was doing. Now, that being said, I've tried to change paths, and I realized because I went over to the greener grass of that career, I really do love doing what I do. There's nothing that compares to the freedom it gives me, to the closeness to God and nature that it gives me, just being outside every day, all day. And there's no way I would ever do anything else, period, for a career. So I would probably find easier things to do, like just make designs and buy the plants and just have a crew put all the hard work into it. That may be something in the future. But Yeah, man. Being your own boss, being in charge of your own life is a crucial part of being true to your true nature. We're not meant to be slaves of any time, any type, to anybody, period. And the more that you fall into this consumerism age and you're used by everyone that you spend money on, you know, if we were more of a creator than a consumer, think about what we would change in the world. If all of us consumers traded the path of being creators and created something good, then we'd have a whole change around, all the way around. But let's check the chat real quick before we bug on out of here and see what everybody's talking about real quick. CR's lawn care. In life we have the emotion. This emotion is the biggest illusion. You have to embrace and make it real. If it doesn't serve you in a positive way, let it pass, because it's only an illusion. 100% right, man. Me and my wife were just talking today that the past doesn't exist. The future you see doesn't exist. The only thing that's real is right now. Right now is the only real time you have in your life. The past is gone, can't be changed. You were supposed to learn lessons as you lived it. The future hasn't happened. The only thing you have is now. Jake says, very true. People take so much for granted. I learned that since being homeless. Yeah, man. He's had a rough go, man. And many men end up there having a rough go at life. Nothing to feel bad about, because I believe Jake's a warrior and he'll make it through this little phase of life. That's what I believe. That's my beliefs towards Jake. He's going to make it. The People's Gardener says every man goes through a rite of passage, man. It's really hard for young men to figure out who they are. It really is. It's really hard. So Jake says, I had a job making $75K a year with just a GED. They got rid of the union and moved 60 miles south, making everyone reapply if they wanted to stay. So they didn't last long. And stuff like that happens, man. I mean, we don't have control of these big companies. They can change the rules anytime they want. That's the way it goes. Terrell says, working for myself was the third best choice in my life. The first was Jesus. The second was my wife. Boom. Amen to that. 100%. Grassy Ass throws in there, he loves being his own boss. Totally agree. Terrell agrees. Jake, you'll get through, man. You will, bro. It's damn rough on you right now. I know it. Feel for you, man. So hey, we touched on a lot of subjects tonight, and you know, I'm just here to share out what I know, what I've lived through, and try to spread out some good vibes, you know, because I truly do love my life. I enjoy my life, and it's simple. I'm not rich by any stretch. I'm sitting downstairs in my basement garage, which for me is good enough, you know. Totally happy every day I wake up. The only bad day I have is when I lose someone out of this life. That's the only bad day I have, when a death happens. And they do happen. So I'm going to come back to this one person's comment right here real quick, because they just stepped in. And then I'll say goodnight to everybody. We got April and Generic. Just stopped in to say hi before I got to go mow tomorrow. Let the grass grow. When it stops raining for 2 weeks, I still have green grass letting it grow to 4.5 to 4.25, 4.5. 10, 10, 10, 7, 7, 7. When it is raining, we'll keep it dark emerald green. There you go, man. Hey, they know what they're doing. All right? They're throwing down their fertilizer to keep their grass growing. And they're blessed enough to have the rains. So, hey, all you warriors, female, male, young, old, everybody, have a good week. As always, be good if you can. always be kind, and above all, love each other. And April says, even when it's dry as heck, it just won't grow much when the homeowners love me. Hey, my places look like I just mowed them every time I showed up. So that's what they want. That's what they get. Freshly mowed yards, 365 days a year. It always looks tight. Hey, y'all be good. Have a good week. And always stay up in a good mindset. Peace.